great humility and appreciation, and with a great sense that they belong to my ancestors, especially the women in my family. So, thank you.
First name's Doni, last name's Glover, in it to win it for the long haul, baby. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I have some unfortunate news to report. We lost two icons over the weekend. First, former Baltimore City Councilwoman Mary Pat Clark, and then the first Black councilman for Baltimore County, Ken Oliver. We lost two icons, two iconic people. Mary Pat Clark, she became famous for sleeping the night down Murphy Homes, I believe it was. Well, a long time no see, Tashia, all the way from Washington, D.C. Peace! Yeah, Mary Pat Clark, she was made famous for spending the night in the projects, something no one had done before, at least from the political realm. And many of us will never forget that. She showed the human side of the project. She humanized what had been demonized. I guess the projects in most any city can be demonized, looked at through a certain lens. She went and spent the night and showed that they were people too. We'll never forget it. Baltimore County Councilman Ken Oliver. You know, me and him had a throwdown before. Not a physical throwdown, but we disagreed on something. I can't even remember what it was. But what I remember is how we were able to move beyond that and continue to work together. Councilman Oliver was one of those people that might challenge you. You know, nothing angry per se, but he stood his ground and I stood my ground. And one day we had a standoff. But I continued and he continued. It was a joy covering him. He was as real as it get, and he had the best cookouts ever. Pretty sure he was a member of the Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity. His annual summer cookout was barbecue, everything. Had to be a Southern boy. Yet he sure knew how to bring people together. And he was able to bring Liberty Road, his first Walmart, Home Depot, first sit-down restaurant on Liberty Road, and Liberty Road Resource Center. So if you're out Liberty Road, Randallstown, and you come through and you see that big old track inside the Liberty Resource Center, see that Walmart out Liberty Road. I think that's right there at Brynbrook. The Home Depot. All Ken Oliver. So he paved the way for us to have a Julian Jones today. we really should have 2, if not 3, Black councilmen, because that's how many Black people there are in Baltimore County. Big transition from West Baltimore out the Liberty Road corridor over the past 60 years. Many of our relatives moved out that way. Great part of town. Big tug of war right now to see who will be the next county executive, and then who will be the next elected county executive. Johnny Olszewski winning the congressional seat. Someone new, I think this is going to be Klausmeyer. That's what everybody's saying. We had on this show Adrian Jones's brother, Barry Williams, who wanted the spot. He wanted the spot before. And it's just interim, 2 years. And whoever gets it, they have to agree not to run for the actual office. So they're essentially holding it down for the next 2 years with the promise of not getting involved in the upcoming election in 2 years, which will be interesting. Will Julian Jones pull it out? We know that Izzy Patoka wants to be county executive. I've heard that Pat Young even wants to be county executive. So it'll be interesting what happens out the Liberty Road corridor. So bear with me. We got to get our guest signed in, having some challenges. Had a very special guest today. Let me see what I can do to get him in there. Do check out our Black Wall Street soiree. Lenny, you watching? Okay, I'm going to text you your email address, and then I'm going to text you a code, okay? Hey, Lenny, I need you to get some tickets to this soiree. So this soiree, we got some honorees. Let me share with you some of the honorees for the Black Wall Street soiree. And we've pretty much got our entire list of honorees, including Reverend Franklin Lance from Parks and People. Franklin has been doing some great work in the community, especially raising money. It's right here, Lenny. Black Wall Street soiree. Right there. See it right there? Black Wall Street soiree. And the honorees include some people from the Maryland Washington Minority Companies Association, including Donna Venerable Davis. Great time to come to Baltimore, Lenny. Benjamin Morgan, Tawanda Livingston, Joseph Woodson, Charmaine Pollard, Lindsey Johnson, Marvin Jackson, and Harley Flack. They're all recommendees or nominees from Mr. Wayne Frazier. And then we have some honorees from Sisters for Sisters Network Incorporated. They would include Connie Bell, Delana Watkins, Donata Mooring, Angela James, John Lee, and Mary Murrell. And then from WNADA, the West North Avenue Development Authority, we're going to recognize the 9 women who make up this construction company, Visionary Venture Partners. They do construction, redevelopment, rehabs. It's going to be at the Downtown Cultural Arts Center, December the 5th. Alex Aaron and Victor Aganagbe. And then I got my own list of people, including the first black tugboat captain. Well, not the first. One of the only black tugboat captains in these United States. So we're going to try this one more time. You bear with me a second. All right, I guess it's on the way. Let me register to attend. Yeah, so it's Black Wall Street Soiree.eventbrite.com. If you're looking for the business event, I must say there's some heavy hitters in this room, including executives with Baltimore Gas and Electric. I don't know if you're trying to get any vending contracts. If you're in business, you don't want to miss this event. That I assure you. We will have the heavy hitters in the house. So we're waiting on our guests. Let me just go ahead and read his bio while we're waiting. Charles Choo Smith Jr., affectionately known as Choo, was born to Brenda and Charles Smith Sr. on November 30th, 1970 in West Baltimore. Choo is a graduate of the prestigious City College High School and earned his Bachelor of Science Degree. And let me just tell you, as a former poly guy, it pains me to have to say that. But that's what the script is. That's how it's written. And so he's a graduate of the prestigious City College High School and earned his Bachelor of Science Degree in Computer Science from his beloved University of the District of Columbia. Go Poly. Choo attended Bowie State University in Maryland, where he was the starting point guard for the Bowie Bulldogs. And after his first year was recruited by Will Jones, head of the UDC Firebirds, where he quickly earned the starting point guard position as the leader of the team. The Firebirds won 7 games over 500 for the first time in 10 years. She was honored for his exceptional basketball skills and finished his college career as the school's all-time leader in steals and assists. During this time, because he come up out of Gilmore Homes. During this time, she was voted MVP of the team. He won the Pigskin Classic Award as the best player in the region and the Reslyn W. Henry Memorial Award. Charles Choo Smith graduated from the University of D.C. with a Bachelor of Science Degree in Computer Science. Choo was inducted into the University of District of Columbia Athletic Hall of Fame in November 2015. Let me tell you, he's got one of the longest bios in the history of mankind. But a long story. Oh, lady. Yes, ma'am. I'm live. Talk to me. Okay. Go to live. Yes. Does it? Okay. Just give me a second. These people looking at me and I'm looking at you. They looking at me and I'm looking at you. You just hold tight. Okay. No, you come down to where it says Harlem Globetrotter and you enter studio. It says live, the second entry. Don't click live. There we go. All right, we had to do a little backdoor move because we could not let Choo not get in here. But after college, Choo was invited to the New York Knicks rookie free camp agent training camp. Try saying that fast 5 times. The New York Knicks rookie free agent training camp. Choo outworked everyone to become in contention for a spot on the New York Knicks roster. Unfortunately, the NBA lockout took place and he did not get an opportunity to play for the Knicks. All was not lost. Unbeknownst to Choo, he was on the radar of the Harlem Globetrotters. And see, that's a reminder that if God gives you a vision, then he also gives you the provision. And here he went in there. Turn your camera down. You got a lot of headroom there, Choo. Yeah, when you come on, it's going, yeah. There you go. She got the assist. She got the assist. She might be stealing your record. She got the assist. Without further ado, the one and only Choo Smith. So
How you doing?
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, good brother. How you been, man?
We were just going through your resume, and so you went out for the Knicks, gave it your all, and then it was an NBA lockout. But unbeknownst to you, the Globetrotters got you in their purview, in their sights. You can't write a better story than that.
Yeah, it's
God put it in you to play. He didn't tell you where to play. You didn't know. You thought you knew. You had to play. They say you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. Come on, Mr. Motivation. Bring it on, bring it on.
No, Donnie, I'm always gonna go back to my dad, man. He always put baseball, basketball, football, and boxing gloves in my hand at 6, 7 years old. And he just said, the closest thing I can give to life is these sports. And you're not gonna make any excuses. You're gonna go out there, give your all. Respect is earned. You gotta understand the power of leadership, discipline, work ethic, and then having an internal fortitude to fight through when rejection happens, when things are not going your way. That's the true character of who you are as a person. So, basketball was late for me. I only played my senior year, and people said I was too small. And that was my drive, to prove to people that I can play at the professional level in basketball, even though the odds were against me. So when I got a chance to get that rookie free agent invite to the Knicks, I just wanted to impress. I just wanted them to know that I was representing Baltimore. That's the other thing, man. Like, I love my city, man. And, so many people paved the way for me. So I feel like for those that didn't get the opportunity, those that played the game at the highest level, those that were probably considered better than me or what have you, the dice didn't roll their way or things didn't happen in favor of them because of the streets and family situation. I just felt like I had to represent, and I had been through those trenches. And when the opportunity with the Knicks didn't work out, the Globetrotter situation came about, I just went full circle. And even that was a challenge, because so many people were coming out for the Trotters and they were bringing people in and out from all these big time colleges. And my thing was, I got to stay. I can't let nobody get me out of here, and that was the thing, man. And just got a chance to travel the world and meet all kinds of influential people and play a game that you love. And then the biggest thing was putting smiles on people's faces. And then the impact we were having with sports diplomacy. It's just like for those 2 hours of playing, nobody thought about anything that was going on with them. They were just big in laughter and feeling good and just being able to touch them and put smiles. And when you can see that abroad year after year, it's like, wow, man, I'm where I'm supposed to be.
So what made you choose Polly? Oh, I'm sorry. What made you choose? I'm sorry.
Oh, you
What made,
so out of order.
I'm sorry, man. City
No,
College. City College right now, the Orioles are owned by City College. The owner comes from there. Kurt Smoke is part owner. City Knights and took over the Orioles, man. The black and orange. I didn't even think about that. They're both black and orange.
yeah, that's funny, man. It's funny how that kind of work. I mean, to be honest with you, Donnie, I'm gonna be 100% honest. I wanted to go to Carver, like my dad. You know, my dad went to Carver. My dad wanted to be a Marine. I mean, my dad was a Marine, and I wanted to do everything he did. And he was like, "Son, no."
That was
You need-
closest to home.
Right. And he was
You
like,
really wouldn't have left the neighborhood.
"Yeah." And he said, "Son, Carver worked for me, but I want you to go somewhere a little different." And he put, I had an opportunity to go to Gilman. And man, when I went to Gilman, because they wanted me to play baseball and football at Gilman. And when I went there, man, I was like, I seen it was nobody like us that was in those classrooms, and it was only 8 to 10 people. I said, no, I'm good. I'm going somewhere else.
You
And
turned
then
it down?
yeah, and I had a pretty much a free education. Yeah. And then I went to Poly. I was supposed to go to Poly, and a lot of my friends went to Poly, and I didn't go there because that's how crazy, the street can get you. So I wanted to wear my Russell sweatpants and my Russell hoodies, and I didn't want to wear a tie. So and then it was this assemblum in the middle of Poly, and they said you gotta take a toothbrush and clean it. So I was like, no, I'm not doing that. So that's the only reason I didn't go to Poly, because and then a guy that from my neighborhood was like, listen, man, you can be on a baseball team, you could play varsity in the ninth grade up city. And I just went to city. I ain't really know anything about city, Don. But when I got
I
up
didn't
there,
know much about Poly when I went.
yeah, but when I went, it was the best 4 years of my life, man. It was phenomenal, man. And, it's a special thing, that city poly, man. I always put us together, even though everybody tries to separate us. It's
What better rivalry to have than my school is better than your school? What
oh,
better rivalry?
100+ years. Think about it. I tell people all the time, our two schools, when you talk about Poly and City, City is the third oldest school, and I think Poly is around there as well in the country, and high school. And the thing about it, we got 100+ years. Our our rivalry is equivalent to North Carolina Duke, Ohio State, Michigan. They come to our tailgate. We got 30, 40,000 people at a high school tailgate. And all the high schools come to see it. So it's a special thing, man. And I enjoy it every
So
year when it comes
I
to
just gotta put this disclaimer. While I spent 2 years at Poly, my son and my daughter did graduate from there.
I
Me and
know, I
Poly had
know,
a
I know,
divorce
Jumbo.
and a poet for life.
Poet for life. I
But
know.
dear friends there, learned some important things. Still remember the quadratic equation. And I learned that I did not want to be an engineer, and why.
Wow. Wow.
So while we right there, how was purpose revealed to you? Your purpose. You had to have found something early of what you're still doing today. You one of them Sagittarian cats. You the long-term visionary. When did the dream, the vision of your life's trajectory first hit you?
To be honest, Donnie, when I was coming up, my dad was just putting a lot of information in me, and I was just kind of working through a lot of different things when I was younger. And I just didn't want to grow up. I wanted to have fun. I wanted to enjoy my childhood. I wanted to enjoy my young adulthood. And my dad kept saying, you're gonna have to start straightening up. You're gonna have to start understanding that it's things that's bigger than you. and you got to start figuring out the trajectory of your life. And it took me hitting rock bottom. It took me losing out on some things. It took me losing a lot of my friends to killings and death, to me to start waking up. And then I started reading and studying more. And then I started raising my conscious level. And once I started doing that and being around people that empower you and impact your life, I start understanding that, you know, this is just a small piece of my upbringing and the full development of my life. So when I got on the road and started playing with the Globetrotters and traveling and learning about different countries and learning about different people, those indoctrinations that was put in my brain kind of got removed. And I started adapting to who I am and then connecting to myself spiritually, because I didn't have no spiritual foundation coming up. So then I've seen how God just started implanting in me that, you know, because I wanted to go to LA and go somewhere and make a bunch of money and do all these things through the game of basketball. But God kept bringing me back home and kept saying, this is what I want you to do. And every time I kept trying to go branch off, he kept bringing me back. So that's when I start understanding, like, my purpose is to empower people, to love people, and create opportunities for people and help elevate people's consciousness and bring people together. And that's when I found out my purpose. And when that happened, it was in my late 30s. And then I really started seeing it clearly probably about 4 years ago when we went through the pandemic. And I seen how everybody was struggling through the pandemic. And then I put my hat on with Dad. Like, I never stayed in a house one single time in the pandemic. I got up 6 o'clock in the morning, did my running, and got in this office. And I was the only person in this office every single day during the pandemic. I traveled, I got on the planes, I continued to do the work. And because I didn't want what was happening to affect where I was going and what I was trying to do and accomplish. So that's when I really knew, because it was like, wow, God, through adversity, through the worst time in our lives, I remained to staying still and continue to evolve and have a vision of trying to do even bigger things that can help our society. So that's my story with that.
4 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, the streaming network started about 4 years ago. Would you
Wow.
say that God has always had his hand on you?
Yes. Yes. He always, I mean, when I look back on it, Donnie, and you know, people talk that, you know, I'm from Baltimore and I did, you know, and because I don't glorify what we've been, but man, I faced death probably 60, 70% of my childhood and young adulthood. It just was rough, because when you in that and you got to stand a certain way, it's just hard, and everybody is fighting and trying to figure out. And for me to be here today and be able to do the things that I'm doing, favor was on my life, and I know that, and I thank God every day for it, and I thank people like you and others that really care, and that's why we gotta take that and love on our next generation, man, because you know they can see beyond their situation as well. We just got to give them opportunity. We just got to get them to see and create some things that can provide hope, because I come from hopelessness, and God just allowed me to see beyond my hopeless condition.
I just wanted to get you on the show to ask you one real question, man.
You funny, man.
Can I be selfish for a minute?
Yes, sir.
I got a bunch of sweatsuits, man. But my Choo Smith sweatsuit is my favorite of them all. You got any more?
Yeah, I got you, man. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna load you up with a couple pieces, man. I'm gonna make sure of that, Donnie, for sure.
No, Choo, where'd you get the sweatsuit? I don't have any like that. No.
Do you know where I got? You know where I got that one that you got?
Where?
From your great Dunbar poet Gregory Brand. He made that. He made that actual sweatshirt that I gave you. He made that. Yep.
I've worn it for years. But tell me, growing up watching the Harlem Globetrotters on TV and the cartoon in particular. See, I'm going to take you way back. How, and did you ever write about this? I know you got books, but did you ever write about having Curly Neal, Metal Lock Lemon, you know, right there right there at the table, talking, even mentoring Metal Lock Lemon?
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, Curly Neal is one of the greatest dribblers of all time and one of the greatest personalities that we've ever witnessed in our lifetime. And because I was a dribbler, he always took in all his dribblers. He loved his dribblers. He was our global ambassador for the sport. And he took a liking and a love for me. And we started connecting, and he started talking to me about once a Globetrotter, always a Globetrotter. Is a certain way that you handle yourself. It's a certain way that you make yourself available to the people. It's a certain way that you deal with controversy, you deal with. So he was just so big on that. And in his later years, he bonded with me, showed so much love. And I feel like, you know, I have to continue to carry it on through his legacy. Metal Law is, ooh, a lot of people don't know this, but at one point, Metal Law was the most influential personality in the world. I mean, he had that title for 4 or 5 years. And you have to understand, he had that title with the likes of Muhammad Ali and those people. So he became second to Ali when Ali started, you know, becoming global. But Metal Lock was just phenomenal, man. His ability to transcend the game. And in his later years, we got together because there was a lot of bitterness. He felt like he wasn't treated in the iconic way he should have been treated. And a guy by the name of Tyrone Hollywood Brown, who's another dribbler, who was real close to Metal Law, was like, you got to get with Choo. Choo is trying to bring everything full circle. He wants to do some things with you. So, you know, I met him several times, but at that moment, we got together and we spent almost 6 hours together in his hotel room, just putting things together. He said, True, I trust you. I believe in what you stand for, and I'm going to roll with you. And we're going to get some things. Because I felt like he had to bring everybody together. He had to bring everything together. And that we're going to have to push him up and put strong support up under him. And I told him I'm willing to do the leg work. And he agreed to it. And would break my heart, we had set up a meeting for, I guess it was 3 weeks prior to us meeting there. And he passes away 2 weeks. A week before we set up a week before we were going to meet again to put all this together. So again, Donnie, I really feel like all the people that paved the way for us, they have chapters that are still open and things that haven't been closed and things that haven't been accomplished. And I'm 54 come this month, and I see my clock ticking, and it wasn't enough time for them. And I want to make sure that it's enough time for me. So just working tirelessly to carry their legacy and that they can say, thank you for finishing the job that I started. And that's what my ultimate goal, not just for them two, but many others like yourself and others that have been trailblazers to our community.
How does it feel when one of your teeny boppers grows up and comes back to you and says thank you?
it's the best feeling ever, man. You know, every time it's so funny, like I go when I'm home and I go all through the city and I go through the area of Baltimore, somebody will grab me and say, Coach Choo, Mr. Choo. And I'll look at him like, hey, how you doing, man? Like, you
Like,
don't
who the
remember?
hell are you?
Yeah, and he'd be like, you don't remember me? I was in your
No.
camp. I was this. And he was like, and I'm like, oh my. And at the time they were 15, now they 35 and 36. And and it's unbelievable, man. And man, you changed my life. You helped me. And man, all the things you shared and life skills and all the stuff through the game. And you get that from young ladies, you get that from young. I thank God that those parents trusted me with their babies and some things happened in their life that if it was just that one lesson that we talked about, whether it was conflict resolution, whether it was something with, you know, trauma, whether it was something with interview skills, whatever it is, financial literacy, whatever touched them to make them the great individuals they are, and I run into them, is the greatest feeling. It really is, man.
Choo, who's going to give you an honorary doctorate? I mean,
You
I
know,
see these off brands getting one, but I tell you in what? In particular, in sports psychology.
mm,
Because for
wow.
you to be able to connect the sports to the streets and save lives, that's some physician type of work.
You
That's
know,
some intense surgery to have traveled the world, hung out with the likes of Shimon Peres, world leaders, and then to come back to Gilmore Holmes and do a behind the back bounce pass to a teeny bopper who's now 35. That's saving lives.
Donnie, I appreciate that, man. And, something my dad, I'm gonna keep reference back to him. He's like, son, when you start reading your press clippings and you start doing these things for accolades and awards, it's okay for people to celebrate you, but every day it's the work. And I've been asked about that doctorate piece. It's an honor if someone came forward to want me to do it. But I mean,
We need to start paying attention. I see us. We get all, they give one to P. Diddy, then they take it back. Why not give it to somebody who's been doing the work all along?
no, Donnie, we still got work to be done, man. And if that
Or
happens,
is it kind of like church? Because the Bible speak about people, when the rich man come to church, you sit him on the front row, but the man got a little bit of wine on his breath. You sit him on the back row. Church people got to stop that, man.
yeah,
Some church people are good at chasing people out of church.
mm, wow, that's deep, Donnie. That's deep. That's deep, man. That's deep.
What's the big project? What you working on? Because you always keep a project. You one of them people, you keep a project.
Well, Donnie, still working hard on a development project here in Baltimore. And but the thing now, right now I'm the chairman of the NBA retired players. So we've been working on some great things with Adam Silver and Andre Iguodala, just kind of merging the retired players with the Players Association and the NBA, just helping our players kind of rebound from that second phase of life, because that transition from being in the lights, being recognized, being known, and then now all of a sudden that's cut off. And
that's a part of that sports psychology piece
yeah,
that I wanted to talk to you about, the transition, specifically on what happens, even football players. They have these traumatic brain injuries.
Yeah.
And we all see them on Sunday, but we don't think about them 15 years later, how many pain medications they may have to take, how much therapy they need, what happens to their spouse. You know, the girl that came up on them when they were at the peak of their career, who's with them now that their career is over and they only got $30,000 in the bank? I know you know these cats.
Yeah. It's serious, Donnie. And one of the things is, we gotta give these athletes a lot of grace. It's a lot that come with being a professional athlete. First of all,
well, hold up. I just want to throw this in there. Did you know that a lot of NFLers voted for, well, I don't know, you might be a Trumpster, but if you better not come around Baker and Fulton talking about your
oh
Trumpster.
man, come
But
on.
a lot of NFL players are Trumpsters
man.
because they want to protect their money with the Republican Party. So, and I ain't even asked you about the white girls that they throw at you and other athletes when they go to college. People don't know with them young superstar athletes, and because sisters get mad. He left me for a white girl. I'm just keeping it 100, man.
No, I understand, Donnie, and you spoke about the election and the athletes voting for certain. See, the biggest thing, man, that you and I know that the problem is the lack of education and the willingness to do the research and study what's really going on. See, when we talk about our communities and we talk about all the different things that's kind of happening in the world, we only look at the things that people put in our face. But it's a deeper situation that's happening out here that we don't really fully understand. And it's not just our country, it's global. And when you can understand the power of economics, you can understand the power of human capital and social change, and then you can really start looking at yourself for what the part you play. See, a lot of us are fighting in empty grounds. And what I mean by that is we fighting for things that we don't even know fully how we got here in the first place. And what do we need to do to get in position to be in a better situation? So when you talk about dealing with adversary and dealing with different issues and problems, you're fighting a fight where people are 10 and 15 times ahead of you because the agenda had already been established way before you was even thought of. So you got to come at this thing different and you got to be able to move different. See, the thing for me is, and I'm always going to speak to this, is that do you really love me, Donnie? Do you really love me? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not saying you per se, I'm saying like, we have talked to each other. We be texting our feelings. We be emailing our emotions. We don't sit down and have a real thorough conversation. We only show up when we want it, when it benefits us. These are things that how we treat each other, but then we want to say we want change. The change starts for how we deal with one another. The change starts from, are you going to show up when it doesn't benefit you? Are you going to help me when it doesn't benefit you? But the truth of the matter, this is the education. It does benefit you. It benefits you because you just help me elevate. And what I got to do is not be selfish, knowing that you help me elevate. Then now I need to elevate you because you help elevate me. And that's the issue. We can sit and talk all this stuff we want to talk. We have people in position right now today that can make effective change. We have people right now that have the bag. We have it. And the reason I know, because I'm in the rooms. I'm in the rooms with Jewish powerful people. I'm in the rooms with Black powerful people. I'm in the room with Italian powerful people. I'm in the room with Jewish to powerful people. The problem is everybody else is tight, but we're not. And what happens is we take the position to talk about each other. We take the position to when somebody falls, we say, see, I told you so. See, I knew that was going to happen. See, look at this, look at that. But this is what we don't understand as a culture. If you fall, Donnie, I'll fall right with you. guilt by association, even if we are not close. That's what people don't understand. But they do. And until we understand these things, we're going to continue to be on a merry-go-round circle, and we're going to be saying the same thing over and over again. Do we love
Let me push back on that. Let me push back on that.
Okay, I want to hear you.
Don't we have more obstacles coming at us than other groups? With 15% of the U.S. population, we don't have reinforcements. The Latinos got reinforcements coming across the border every day. That was one of the huge issues for a lot of Republican Trumpsters or Trump supporters, immigration. Latinos, their population has surpassed the Black population. And by the time you're a granddaddy, they will be surpassed. The white population will be surpassed by the Latinos. But in our community, if Blacks come across the border, like the Haitians, they're met on horseback. You look at the mass incarceration, that's against us. We star in the prison movie. You look at the drugs, the heroin, the fentanyl, the crack. You know, it's all in the neighborhood in which you grew up in. White people are in Sandtown, living in dumpsters even, and comfortable. And nobody says a word. But let a squeegee kid stand on the corner too long, and Fox TV is gone buck wild. You look at our schools. We got a Black governor. We got more Black elected officials percentage-wise than anywhere in the state, anywhere in the country, anywhere in the union. Black governor, Black attorney general, Black treasurer, Black mayor, Black comptroller, Black state's attorney, largest Black caucus. And yet, where's the beef?
But you answering all the, I get the pushback, but the truth of the matter is we have people in powerful places.
Yes, we have everything we need to be successful. What's the matter with you? I mean, not you per se. What's the matter? What's stopping us?
That could be a conversation that we can have on and on and on. But I'm gonna be honest with you, Donnie. I've been down in this work 20 years. 20 years. And
I remember the project in Woodlawn.
20 years, Donnie.
Ambassador Road. Wasn't it Ambassador Road?
Yes, sir. But I'm just saying.
I remember you from then.
But I'm just saying, I've been down in this 20 years. And I have a lot of results. I don't speak on myself, but a lot of results. My heart is in the right place. No, I'm just speaking to I only can go from my own lens. And what I'm saying is 20 years of the work, thousands of kids we've impacted, all this stuff we've been doing. And we're the people. I'm traveling all over the world. I'm with the high-end people, but I'm home. I didn't go away. I didn't put this work in another city. I didn't put this work in another town like many others that we know. I'm right here in the trenches, willing to do whatever it takes. And how hard is it? It's hard. It's hard.
But I don't understand. We as a people, we expected to vote Democrat. Now we got the deck stacked. Where's the phone call? Hey, Choo, we need you down here to run this sports vision for Prince George's and Baltimore for the state of Maryland.
Well, it's coming now. Those things are starting to happen now, but it took a while. We partnered with the Stadium Authority. They brought the 2028 Youth Olympics. We're part of that, handling the basketball portion of it. It's happening, but
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, but my point is, Donnie, all I'm saying to you is we got to do better with each other. We do a lot of events, we do a lot of parties, we do a lot of social gatherings.
We have to bring this.
Yeah.
sipping black-eyed Susans and wearing sundresses and seersuckers.
No, I'm not gonna get in there.
Meanwhile,
I'm saying,
I'm just saying, meanwhile, Park Heights struggling.
yeah, it's just the work for me. I do know that we got to do those things. I think those things are important because we got to look nice, we got to enjoy each other. But what I'm just saying
Man,
is,
we need some dirt under our fingernails. We got to do the dirt. We good at looking pretty.
yeah, but I just think we gotta talk. It's too many. I don't like this person, and this person is that way, and that person is this way. I just feel that we got to come together and truly come together and really start creating a change and having people in place that know how to develop, engage, and make sure that quality individuals win so we can build up our youth and it continues to grow. If when you talk about those other nationalities, they come in like that. See, and that's the part that I'm saying. Like when you talk about the Latino community, I remember
They not all united.
no,
They not all united.
no, they're not. But they stay true to what it is that they're doing, and that's the part for me. Like we can all say everybody is beefing and everybody, but I'm just talking about the fundamentals is there. People cannot like in other cultures, they cannot like you, but they're not going to tear the ship down. That's the part I'm saying. They're not going to let the whole ship hit bottom because they don't like an individual. And
Could it be because they haven't been as traumatized as us? We got some historic trauma. I mean, the very fact that this country voted for Trump shows you how traumatized not just black people are, but white people in the sense of losing control. You know, it's funny how we can say we own the land, we control this when everything comes from God. We really don't control nothing.
That's where I was going. If we got faith and we believe, then that changes everything. And the other thing is, I had a conversation with my dad, and my dad was saying everything that you said. I said, Dad, I'm going to be honest with you. You've been talking to me like this for 50 plus years. I said, I'm tired of you talking to me about that. And he looked at me. That's the first time I challenged my dad. I said, give me solution. Because we can't do nothing about. I'm not in 1920. I'm not in 1950. I'm not in 1970. I'm not in the 80s no more, in the 90s no more. This is 2025, 24, 25. Give me solution. Because if we keep dwelling on that pain and that trauma and those things that happen to us, we can't think clearly when the opportunities presents itself to move the agenda or move anything that we're trying to get to. Because soon as we have a problem with one another, we gonna fight each other instead of working with each other through our differences and our challenges. That's my problem, Donnie. All the other stuff I'm fine with, but I'm saying, what is our solution? See, I deal in solutions.
I think you know it. I think if you understand the Maryland Stadium Authority, then that means you got to understand Craig Thompson. If you understand Craig Thompson, then you know the relationship with Westmore. And if that doesn't begin to harness, because when I see the stadium, the Ravens Stadium getting rebuilt, getting renovated, I should say, and I look around here at Lee and Jones and we ain't got no wreck.
It's deep, man. It's deep.
But with that type of access, with some youth Olympics on the horizon, especially from a political perspective, anything that would bring. See, Baltimore, Prince George's public schools had a race for the bottom.
I know.
I want to see them in a race for the top. So maybe that's where them youth Olympics ought to take place. Especially if somebody trying to do another 4 years, you bring them two powerhouses together and have a Beltway Classic.
But that's you just said it, Donnie, and that's what I believe the key is. Our young generation has so much promise. We like to put a negative context to it, but they're geniuses. I mean, we work in the park and recs, and we've been doing movies with them. I mean, they learning how to work the camera. They're learning how to act. They're learning how to give up their personalities. And it's
So
just
the Olympics won't just be sports. It'll be
right.
who has the best TV show.
Yes. See,
who has the best STEM project.
But we got to give them access, man. Like when you give them access and you allow them to be their authentic selves, you'd be surprised the greatness in our children. So that's the
No,
part.
I won't be.
No, but
I won't be surprised.
No, I'm not you. I'm just talking about people in general because we put our babies in a box. If you notice, oh, they gonna tear it up. Or man, if we build this, they ain't even gonna take care of it. Or they ain't gonna do. No, we train them and we show them beauty. And they can see the way of how to see. We're not being patient with our babies. See, my dad was patient with me in the jungle. Understand what I'm saying? I was in the jungle, but he was patient with me. So he sat me down. He gave me different ways of seeing things and looking at things and how to operate through some things. And then he was an example. So when we're talking about our young people, they like, man, you out here telling us this and that, but you ain't living it. So that's the problem. So when they can see us living it and they can see real love, they will change and they will evolve. They want to. It's just that we got to put some things in place so they can express themselves outside of violence and the trauma situation that they're in. And you know, come on, Donnie, you know where we come from. It was a trap. But guess what helped you? Education, parenting. And even we still made mistakes when we got the love, the guidance. We still made mistakes because it was other influences out there. So we got to negate some of the negative influences, help those people that are being negative and give them something. Now, we ain't going to touch them all and we ain't going to save everybody, but we got to put some things in place that gives them an opportunity to be saved. That's all it is, because some of us have everything and we still are not grateful for what we have and what God has blessed us with. What about those individuals that had everything and they failed? How about that? You know them people. I got a ton of them where the spoon was passed. They had every resource and they rebelled against them having every resource because they want to be on the other side and thought that that side was better than this side. When we got to merge those sides and be able to say, oh, okay, because I can remember bringing kids in the house, right? And they was like, wow, y'all have dinner together? Yeah, we have dinner together. And then when they eating all fast. And like, my mother like, take your time, son. You okay? Take your time. And then my dad would do little sessions with 7, 8, 9 boys and talking about life, talking about Martin Luther King, talking about Carter G. Woodson, talking about Edgar, talking about this person and that person, and then doing little skits. And then think about that. And these are killers in this room, in these houses. These are guys that will split your head open. But then when they seen my dad, it was love. When they seen me, it was love because we touched them in a different way. And that's all it is. We all got it in us if we push to a brink. And some of us push further along than others. But it's that love, Donnie, and that's what you represent. We got to speak truth in our young people's lives. We got to speak truth and hold each other accountable. And not in a very combative way, because there's people that say things, people that do things, it's things that happen. And you know what I do? People don't even know I know they talk about, right? And I hug them and I love them and I can feel the energy come off them, right? And then I say something great about them. And then I bring somebody to them to let them know I'm not threatening. I ain't got no problem with you. And whatever you think I am, I'm not. And I go about my business. And then and this is how God works. This is the power of God. And then later on, there's a phone call where they need me to help them, and I help them. But they try to scar my name. And guess what? I'm good. Because I don't have no problem with nobody. It's not because I know, and I'll say this thing. We're in spiritual warfare. And the enemy want me to speak bad on you, Donnie. The enemy want me to derail and deter you. But I'm not giving him the time of day, and I'm going to continue to understand love and promote peace and joy. It's people that I've made mistakes with. I ask for empathy. Like, it's funny, I'm looking on a thing and she gonna kill me, and I'm getting ready to do it right now as we speak. Miss Christina Flowers, I owe her a donation. And I'm telling my assistant right now to give this donation to her right now. I'm sorry. I've been so busy. I'm sorry from the bottom of my heart. Please, Christina, don't scar me and throw me away. I love you, sister. Miss Karen, please.
Hey, Christina, don't make me come down there under 83. Bring my German Shepherd down there. Hey, Choo, I got a question for you. I got a question for you, Choo. She ain't. And this is the last question. And thank you for taking time out. I know you're busy running places, but yesterday was Veterans Day, and it was brought to my attention last night that when we as a nation celebrate veterans, we can't forget to celebrate the family of veterans. Nobody knows what a military spouse goes through but another military spouse. Nobody knows what the children of veterans go through but other children of veterans. So what does Veterans Day mean to you?
You know, my dad.
Semper Fi.
Yeah, my dad, Marine, Vietnam vet.
Talking about trauma. Man, them cats saw Agent Orange, the Tet Offensive. That's the first day of the Vietnamese New Year, and things got buck wild crazy. Then they come home, over 22 veterans shoot themselves in the head every day. The veterans, Air Force, Army, Navy, Marines, can't forget the Coast Guard. But the family of veterans, the trauma they deal with.
Let me share something with you how deep it is for me. My dad raised me, and you've met my dad several times. You and my dad have a great relationship. He loves you and what you represent. And my dad is my hero. My dad always brought truth to my life. He always held himself accountable. He always took responsibility. And he really did a great job of pouring into me with all the adversity that was in him. But this is the part that I'm gonna tell you that is mind-blowing to me. And it blows me away. Right now, today, my dad has had 3 strokes. 3. And my mom had an aneurysm. She's been down for the last 5 years, struggling, fighting through her situation. And my dad, for years, never got checked out through the trauma of Vietnam. And he raised me with no bitterness, no pain, no vindictive spirit, no throw it on me because I went through something, none of that. He raised me in spite of, so he stored all that agony away to make sure he can raise me without putting that pain on me. Now today, I'm taking care of him. And he's gotten help. And to see him go through these emotional and psychological challenges because my dad is super strong, even going on 80 years old. And when I can see how it affected him, and then some of my uncles, and then they went to fight for us, for our freedom, and some of them they just threw out there as a pure sacrifice to die. And then knowing what they fought for and why they fought, it's amazing that the veterans today are able to exist in society where do we give them their just due? Do we make sure that every aspect of them coming home is taken care of from a
Hell no.
healthcare perspective? So my grace, my love for them goes beyond, because you can talk that stuff, but can you imagine bullets and people dying in front of you and you don't even have time to grieve and you got to continue to carry on the war? That's power beyond power, and to make this country safe. So I'm glad you shared that, Doni, on the show. Let's prayers go out to all the veterans, those that have fallen, and let's continue to love them. When you see a veteran, hug them, love them, celebrate them, and say thank you from the bottom of your heart, because you owe that to them beyond your imagination, beyond anything.
Choo, people can learn more at ChooSmithYouthEmpowerment.org.
Yes, you can go to ChooSmith.com and ChooYouth.com. And
ChooYouth.com.
yeah.
Any final thoughts?
I'm always going to go back to you, Doni. I just want to always say thank you, man. Just thank you for being who you are. It takes a lot to bring stories to the table. It takes a lot to bring truth to the table. It takes a lot to celebrate people. It takes a lot to stay consistent when the world changes and evolves daily.
What do it take to wear them nice suits you be wearing, though? When I first met you, Choo, you were standing there right there at the door. I was like, geez, I thought I had some gear. I had no idea you was hanging out with star athletes from around the world. I was like, damn. Go ahead, Emmett.
No, man, Doni, just thank you, man. And, I leave with this last thing, even though I was celebrating giving you flowers. We have a short time to be on this earth, and God has given us all an assignment and a purpose. And I just want everybody to understand that we got to make the most of each other, and we got to work on our individual selves so we can be better and great for each other, and continue to help each other, and continue to not allow the challenges, the struggles, and the adversity that you're going through. Just have that internal fortitude to push through and fight the fight in a way that's conducive to the spirit in which God pours in you, and we'll be fine. And Doni, I just want to thank you for having me on. Thank you for considering me, and I love you from the bottom of my heart, man. And you just keep winning, man. Keep doing what you're doing, because your voice is one of the most powerful voices I've ever witnessed in all of I've been throughout the world. So thank you, man. Big up to the show, man. Black USA
Oh,
News.
I ain't gonna let you off the hook like that. What song do you listen to these days for some inspiration? Give me one song.
One song.
Yeah, like I need boom, and then you back on track.
Smile. Smile by Kirk Franklin. Smile. Smile.
Even though it hurts, I still smile.
Gotta smile, man. We gotta smile. Laughter and smiling kills all that stuff. Gotta smile, man. I'm smiling at you right now, man. You see it? Gotta smile, baby. That is smart.
The one and only Choo Smith. Thank you.
Thank you. Love you, man. Have a great week.
Yes, sir. Up to date, down tomorrow. Do your day and everything will follow. Nothing to it but to do it. I got to do it, regardless of how I feel. Thank you, Lord, for Choo Smith.